All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. Ray, oh my God, so good to see you.
It's so good to see you again.
Do you know how, and I'll explain this in a second, do you know how amazing you are?
Nah.
We were talking off air. I gave my thoughts on your Coachella performance. I'm just my jaw on the floor. I'll get to that in a second. I wasn't at Coachella, but you're at the house. You can watch the stream or wherever you are. So I'm at the house, and you can click from screen to screen and this and that, whatever. Like, when's Ray on? So I find you on which stage and all that. And you hopped on this stage, and it was so powerful, and you just own that space, and your voice just. I mean, I can imagine everybody in that. They must have been just glued to you. And it almost made me cry. Not because, it was sad or whatever. I know you have some heavy content in some of the songs, but it almost made me cry because it was just so powerful, your reaction.
Oh, thank you.
I just hope you know how phenomenal that moment was.
I'm really proud of how it went as well. And I think that's the thing as well, being like a British artist, you coming overseas and also receiving there was a lot of people in that tent. I still get so worried that no one's going to turn up. I think it's a thing when you play gig back in the day. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh my God, I hope people come. So everything about it was so amazing, and I think I was quite blown away. I was really proud. It's nice to feel proud as well of a show, and I was really proud of that. So that's good. I'm
told you're working on an album. Is that
I'm
correct?
having deja vu right now. It's so funny because when we were here last time.
Yep.
No, I'm not. It's not an album. It's I would call this piece of music kind of like an intermission. Is that a word? Do you know what that means?
It is. I know what an intermission means, but I've never heard a body of music described as an intermission.
Yeah, I think.
So is it like between that and before the next?
Yeah, and I think it's a 7-minute piece of music. It's got kind of 3 parts to it. It has been a labor of love. I've been chipping away at this song for a year and a half. Every detail of the lyrics and the production I worked on also with Dark Child Rodney Jerkins, who's just an absolute legend. But it's not. It feels. It kind of shatters my heart a bit to call it a single. Does that make sense? Because it feels like it's more than just like a song.
But you're not. So there's an album coming up after Genesis, right?
Yes. Well, yes. Well, I need to write it first.
Oh. So you haven't started the writing or anything like that?
No, maybe little bits and pieces, but no, not. I haven't. We've honestly been just moving a lot, and I'm an all or nothing person. I'm really bad at multitasking like that. So when we're doing shows, because I put so much effort and heart as well into the details and the arrangements, and I'm involved in everything. I love to be involved in everything.
It shows when I get it, But so you're not the type to write on the road and record in a hotel.
I tried it, but do you know what? Touring is already quite the way I sing in these shows, I literally sing like it's my last day on earth. I go for it because I love to do that. But that means I need I literally sleep 11 hours a night on tour, which is crazy. Normally I need 8 hours, but when we're touring, it's 10 hours, 11 hours sleep. Yeah. And I don't talk much in between the shows because I need to save my voice. It's a whole thing. So I don't have, I sadly don't have the energy or whatever. It's times like this that I wish I was a rapper sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it was literally all you got to do is talk and shout on the stage. No offense. Obviously it takes an art to be really quick flows and to write the music itself. But yeah, All
right. When it's time, it's time.
Exactly.
There it is. Huge congrats. The Brit Awards. I mean, I've never, all I know is it's kind of like our Grammys.
Yeah.
Massive deal. And you're the first artist, to my understanding, to get 6 trophies, including Artist of the Year. I mean, you just own the Brit Awards. I mean, tell me that. I assume that's the coolest thing ever.
No,
right?
It is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. It was, it was just one of those nights that don't even feel real, know?
I've heard so much about
sort
this.
Of dream.
What the heck?
Dream, felt like I was in a dream. Yeah.
And you probably all your life you've seen other artists do this show, people you idolize, and there you are.
Literally. I just couldn't believe it. It was a wild, really, really beautiful, special night. And yeah, I haven't watched it back yet, but when I'm ready, I'm going to watch it back.
How do you think about that? Oh my God. Quick rewind. In 23, you released your first full length, My 21st Century Blues.
Yep.
A year later, looking back on it, how proud of you are of that album and what it's led to?
Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I couldn't have asked for anything to go better than what it did. Like, I feel like my goal, I think when we met,
Yeah.
I was telling you, you know, my goal is to build a group of fans that care and to, you know, perform shows that I love, and that's literally just what's happened. I feel like people care about this album. The right people and the people who need this kind of music have found it, and it's like, yeah, that's literally what being an artist is, and what all you can hope for is people who care enough to listen to you and hear you out, and who will buy a ticket to come and see a show. And it's just been mind-blowing. We've done literally hundreds of shows singing these songs, and people are screaming them back in my face, and I'm like, I can't ask for anything more.
What a rush. And you told me, I think last time we talked about the fact that it took so long to get this album out, issues with that previous label, they wouldn't let you release stuff, and now to see it happen and where you are now and more stuff coming in, let's go, man.
Oh, thanks, JoJo.
More touring in the future whenever this next album comes out, the one you haven't written yet. But do you like, you know, speaking of touring and all that stuff, it's very exhausting to my understanding. That's how I take what you're saying. I guess you're technically saying that. Do you like road life?
Oh, I love it.
I know you love the stage. Do you love everything that goes, you know?
I think it's also, you know, learning things. You learn that your body needs recovery time. I think that's the biggest thing. But also, last year I needed to do all of those shows. You know, we did 3 support tours and 3 of my own tours in different places, you know, and I needed to do that. I think also the live shows is a big part of who I am as an artist. But in hindsight, now, knowing what I know now, definitely, I think, you know, 1 or 2 days on and then a day off is important. Because 3 or 4 shows back to back, that's when it can get quite tiring, know, and lots of hotel rooms and in and out, and you get a bit, you know, you miss home and stuff like that. But it's all of that negative stuff, when it gets negative, is all worth it the second that you step on the stage.
I bet you forget how to get to your house. Like, you're gone so long. Like, where do I live?
Last year I was literally at home for 2 weeks in the whole year.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I was living out of a suitcase all year. But, you know, a blessing though. A blessing, but yeah, it's you do have to go for it.
I read that, and tell me if this is true or not, you have a love-hate with social media. Like, one of your friends helps you out with it because it's just, I don't know, it's a mess at times, right?
It is, and look, I don't think us as human beings was built to be absorbing as much as we are on social media. And obviously, like, it's so good for some things. It's so good for up and coming artists and independent artists and musicians and painters and people who want to spread the word and build a business. Like, there's so many positive things about it, definitely. But I think there is a negative side too, you know, in comparing yourself to other people and being really hard on yourself. And then don't get me started on like comments and people's horrible opinions, because there are some lovely people out there, but there's also some keyboard warriors hard at work. So I think taking a break is really important. So I have, I can't even log into my own social media. I have to borrow my friend's phone. It's good though. I need that.
Why am I jealous of this?
Honestly, try it and thank me later. Just like log yourself out and make someone change the password just for a month and just watch how your life, when you need to check it, you can ask for it. But then when you need a break, you can't get in there even if you want to. And it's so good for you, I promise.
All right. Advice taken, for sure. Genesis. Tell me about this. You described this track as an intermission. Yeah. So it's after the album, before the next body of music, the one you haven't written yet.
Yeah.
What do people need to know about Genesis?
Oh, gosh. Well, it's quite intense. It's quite heavy, but it starts as kind of like a note to self, kind of quite sad, honest, kind of, you know, like imagine in the morning you're not having a great day and you're looking in the mirror and you're kind of talking to yourself and you're kind of like, yo, this is how I'm feeling. And then it smacks into some like big, kind of thick, empowering kind of song. But the song is still a bit sad, but the music kind of contrasts to it. So it's that. And then it ends on a kind of big band, breathing, nice, bright, 1920s swing vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ray, 2-part question. What do you consider, you've done so many live performances, what do you consider your best live performance ever? I mean, things went just about perfect. And then the complete flip of that, what do you consider your worst? Everything went straight to hell.
Okay, that's a good question. I'd say my best performance to date is probably my Royal Albert Hall performance, which was actually where we recorded my 21st Century Symphony, which we released as a live album. But we filmed it, and it was like we had a 90-piece orchestra on the stage, 30, a gospel choir called the Flames Collective. There were a bunch of such talented kids in London. It was like indulgent. It was a musician's dream, you know, just to be able to play your album, but in symphony form. It was insane. Best night of my life. And my worst performance, I've had a couple of shockers. I mean, there was one where I was opening for Khalid in, I think it was Birmingham Arena. So there's about 10,000 people or something like that. And I had a ponytail in, and I'd whipped my hair around, and then the ponytail fell out, but it didn't come out all the way. It was just on the edge. So I had to hold it, and I had to hold my ponytail. My hairstylist is looking at me like, oh my God, Ray, what? And I had to hold it and perform and kind of be like, my ponytail's falling out. And I was so embarrassed. That's definitely was a bad one. Yeah.
But you learn from these things.
You definitely learn. I don't think I ever wore a ponytail on stage again.
So, ponytail days are over.
Over, done.
Ray, you write for a lot of people, to my understanding. I mean, of course, you write for yourself. I mean, you pour your heart and soul out. But you also, I've read you've written for like Beyonce and J-Lo. Is it hard to, writing for yourself, you know what's in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
To write for someone else, that's got to be, I don't know, how hard is that?
It's not.
Or do they get songs that you basically don't want, that you wrote for yourself, that they're going to take?
I think for me, like when writing for others is so important that it's their story, not mine. I think that's the kind of difference there, right? Is when going to write with and for these incredible artists, that's their story and their vision and their message and their words and their intention that I'm helping be a part of communicating, really. So, yeah. So
you have a little chat where you want to go with this, and then you kind of take that and kind of turn it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And that also you have to, you know, be able to be vulnerable and have the people you're working with be vulnerable with you so that you can like really create real, you know, that some of the lyrics I love to write are hard hitting and very honest. So you need that as well. But yeah, I love to write for other artists, and when they want me to be a part of their process, it's really an honor for me as well, because I just love to write. I love music so much.
We talked about this. I love the paranormal, haunted houses, ghosts. I have a podcast called Paranormalish. I'm off the deep end with this
Have
stuff.
you ever seen a ghost?
I've seen things that I can't explain, but I haven't seen like a ghost walk right in front of me. Have you ever had a paranormal encounter?
Nope, and I do not want to ever have one.
Okay, my challenge to you is you're going to say no. You're going to say no, and everybody says no. But you're going to be going on. You're always on tour. Another tour is coming up, traveling, this and that.
Oh, do you know what?
Okay.
Sorry.
Here we go.
We went to on tour, and it was my birthday. We went to that. What was that place where Jeffrey Dahmer used to?
Oh, you went to the rave. You performed at the rave.
Oh my God! And apparently there's a swimming pool
Yep.
downstairs where there was like murder of children, and the ghost of them is like around. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. And the people who worked at the venue were so nice. I don't mean to disrespect their venue. They
know.
But I walked in, and the second I was in there, I was like, oh, something doesn't feel right. Like, and I just, you know, the whole time we were there, I was like, something's not right. It just, you know, in your spirit, where you're just like,
I'll tell you a quick story. The band, do you know the band AJR?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, 3 guys, you know, great guys. They went to perform at the venue.
Yeah.
They were going to their dressing room, and they were walking down the hall, and there's one entrance to the dressing room. One. They stopped in the hallway, chatting, opened the door, looked in there, oh, there's the dressing room, no big deal. Shut the door, continued to chat in the hallway, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever. They opened the door to go in. Once again, one entrance, all the chairs are stacked up.
No.
Yes. The Rave Milwaukee. My challenge to you is on this next tour and wherever you're traveling.
Absolutely not.
Some of these hotels have, you know, a backstory, a history. Look out for room 312.
No.
Don't stay on the 7th floor. Would you ask for the haunted room and tell me what happens?
Absolutely never.
I knew you were going to say no. All right.
I would never. I will be running. I will bring my Holy Bible, and I will be like, in Jesus' name, no. I'll be running that. No. I'm not the girl for the job.
Okay, let me write that down. Ray says
no.
No. All right. Ray, you are an advocate for songwriters getting paid
Yes.
what they deserve.
Yes.
How do we fix this? Because I saw this clip of Snoop Dogg, and maybe you've seen this, and I don't want to shout on any platforms, but Snoop he said his manager came to him. He said, dude, you got like a billion streams. This is what he said. Whether it's accurate, I don't know. He said, you got a billion streams. Snoop's like, well, what's that mean in terms of money? $45,000.
Oh,
so a billion streams equals 45,000. Once again, he might be exaggerating one way or the other. How do we fix this?
Well, it depends how much time we've got as well to break it down.
3 hours later.
Literally, if I can try and keep it as short and brief as possible, I think there's just so much at play. First of all, the last 20 years, the way that we consume music has changed so much, but the systems in play haven't changed to reflect that for the creatives, for the writers, for the artists. And the thing with artists, the reason I advocate more passionately for songwriters over artists is because, we know the pay isn't incorrect for artists, but artists have brand deals, we have live shows, and, we're able to make enough money to get a house and live. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Touring, merch, yada,
you
yada.
know what I'm saying? There's other income streams, but for songwriters specifically, and when I say songwriters, I mean there are your favorite songs that you love. If you click on the credits and you look, there are other names involved in creating music. The best kind of songs, sometimes the best kind of song is created by an artist sitting down on a piano and just venting, right? But sometimes, and collaboration is everything. When you hear two artists come together and make a song, you're like, oh my gosh. And it's got a kind of flavor or something unique that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. And it's the same as songwriters. But songwriters I call the faceless beating heart of this music industry, because no one knows or cares what they look like, who they are, and refuse to kind of acknowledge how important these writers are to the creation of our favorite songs. Instead, we're kind of getting this, well, artists should just write on their own, and then what? It doesn't work like that. There's so much that goes on into these creations that people don't see or understand, but are essential. And they are soundtracking your life. They are the songs you go to a concert or to a club or to a party and you scream at the top of your lungs. And that is songwriters' blood, sweat and tears that is just not being correctly paid for. When I say correctly paid for, I'm saying not being paid for at all. Record labels do not, period, pay songwriters for their work, but they are making 80% of the profits off of songs and not paying songwriters a single penny, and that is standard practice. So
this has to fix, or at some point, songwriting, that art is going to be, I don't want to say it's going to go away,
no,
but
it's going to be. It's really on the edge. We're at a place where unless you come from money and you come from financial stability, that you won't be able to make a living out of this. And it's really heartbreaking, because there are songs that are making companies millions, if not billions of dollars and pounds, and they aren't. And then the people who are making these songs are struggling to pay rent. And I think that's evil and really wrong. And that's why I'm banging on about it, because we need accountability. We really do. And we need record labels to just, it's not even a lot, just pay enough so that people can live. Which is why I say master royalty points, because it means if the record labels win big with a record, so do the writers, and it's a way that they can win without losing, but then everyone can win. And it's very, very simple, but we just need people talking about it and explaining it, because it's so complex.
This conversation to be continued,
yes.
to say the least.
Sorry that I really went
let it go,
for
Ray. Oh my God. Ray, this is a simple question, but it does get a fair amount of controversy when I ask it. Part one, not the controversial part. How do you make a proper cup of British tea?
Okay, well, tea bag in the mug.
Got it.
Right? Tea bag first. Get the milk away. Don't do that.
Way over there.
Away. Keep it. It should still be in the fridge, as far as I'm concerned.
Got it. In the fridge. Not even thinking about milk yet.
Then, you're going to get your boiling hot water, 100 degrees. The kettle has to have, you got it at 100. We do 100 degrees Celsius. I don't know Fahrenheit. I don't know Fahrenheit.
Really, really hot.
But boiling point.
Gotcha.
Yeah?
Okay.
Smoke is coming out of the kettle, right? The thing pops. It's like it's done. Pick it up, pour it in a tea bag. Great. Fill it up about 3/4 of the way, maybe just above. You use your teaspoon to squash the tea bag, get some of the juices out. Do you know what I mean? Sounds disgusting, but you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Yeah.
Squish it good.
Yeah. Get it out. Then this is the part. Some people pour the milk in with the tea bag still in. Some people take the tea bag out, then pour the milk. I personally, once I've squeezed a lot of caffeine and vibes out of the tea bag.
Caffeine and vibes.
I take the tea bag out, but you squash it,
Right.
Squash it to the wall of the mug.
100% with you.
Remove it. you know. So the tea bag, you can almost hold it and there's no water coming out, right?
Okay.
Then you pour your milk and then...
A little bit of boop, just a ping.
Yeah, just a tiny splash. And it depends on the colour you want, but I'd go for a kind of sand kind of colour. You don't want it too dark, not too pale.
Okay.
It's a very specific colour. I'm trying to think how I could describe it to you, but I'm saying a tiny kind of sandy vibe. Yeah?
Probably 2 tastes for each individual, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then a little bit of sugar, stir a couple of times, and then give.
Controversial part of the, and I'm not saying I would ever do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been scolded by everyone from Ed Sheeran to Dua Lipa.
Uh-huh.
Would you ever consider microwaving the water?
Now that is just a sin.
Okay.
That is just blasphemy.
Let me pretend like I didn't even ask you that.
You microwave the water. That's...
I mean, if you're in a rush, it's beep, beep, beep.
No.
That,
You need a kettle.
Okay.
Well, do you know what though? I say blasphemy, but sometimes I'll reheat a coffee in the microwave.
But for the tea, though.
But tea, no.
Okay. Message to your fans, and I'm talking. I'm looking at 2 groups of fans. Day ones, and you've got this big, crazy new bunch of fans that have come in over the last, 6 months, whatever. I mean, a lot of people. What's the message to all of them?
My message is thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I am just also really grateful to you for taking the time to really properly listen to my music and dig in and care about who I am as an artist and what I have to say. And I truly would be nothing without you. So thank you. And I hope that you will stick on this ride with me for hopefully the foreseeable future. And thanks.
All right, let's
and
do
love
it.
You.
Quick recap. Genesis is out. A new body of music coming sometime. You haven't written the album yet?
No.
But you're clearly, if you don't.
But I do want to make one. Like the intentions are there.
Yeah, okay. You have to, obviously. There's a question I have to know, and I hope it's okay if I ask this.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure this movie is wonderful. This has nothing to do with the movie, but the Amy Winehouse movie, the Back to Black. Did they ever approach you about that? Or can you say? You don't have to say if you don't want to, but if I were, and once again, I haven't seen the movie. I'm sure the other actor is great.
I haven't seen it.
My God, I can't think of anyone else. And if in your case, I don't know if I would have taken it, being you, but if you want to be an actress, maybe. But God, if I were the producers, I would have been camped on your doorstep.
Oh gosh.
And I mean that super complimentary. I hope you understand. I'm such a huge fan. Did they not approach you, or did they approach you, or can you say?
I prefer not to say, if that's all right.
Okay, we will read between the lines, maybe. I don't know. God, Ray, it is so good to see you.
Likewise.
Huge congrats on everything.
Thanks for having me, Jojo. Appreciate you.
Of course. At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little, bah!
Whoa.
Oh.